Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of TV is Our Real Mom. I'm Dave.
I'm Katie.
And you are listening to our weekly Survivor recap podcast, in which we break down the latest episode of Survivor. And we apologize we're a little late on this one, but I am in finals time for school, and we had some family stuff going on. But the good news is Katie and I get to be in the same room together for this one, which is cool.
We haven't done it yet this season.
I believe it's the first time this season we've done that, so that's pretty neat, Katie.
Yeah, very exciting.
Yes. All right. So the latest episode on last Wednesday was episode 9 of Survivor Kaoh.
Yeah.
And what'd you think of the episode?
Well, it was one of those episodes that I knew that afterwards people were going to be talking about how amazing it was, but I was just kind of annoyed through the whole thing. Because, the people doing the cool stuff were the people that I don't like. And I think a lot of people probably felt that way. But it's kind of good maybe that we're doing this a few days later because, I'm not as worked up.
Yeah.
I thought about it a little more rationally. I still hope Scott and Jason don't win. But, I can appreciate their gameplay a little bit more. And I can question the other gameplay a little bit more. Although there's been some debate as to whether that was the right way to go for Aubrey and Cydney and those guys.
Yeah, I feel like that is sort of the center of the discussion to be had. Aside from the villains doing their stuff, we'll talk about that. But I think the center of the discussion is on whether or not Aubrey and Cydney made the best decision for their game with what they decided to do here.
Well, yeah, because in essence they ended up sacrificing one of their own, and if they were just going to do that, they should have flushed the idol.
Anyways,
in the same. But the thing is that the guys wanted to get rid of Cydney, and Aubrey did not want to sacrifice Cydney because she's a logical and loyal ally, whereas Debbie. Some atrocious gameplay from Debbie down the stretch. I feel like Debbie, you had one good episode where we were like, okay, maybe Debbie's not so bad, but then she went back to just being Debbie. The Debbie that we all expected. Worse than the Debbie I expected.
Yeah, overall, like if you really look at all of her episodes, like strategically, she was very aggressive, which is cool because like a lot of players that get far do so by being meek, and you kind of got to straddle that line. But Debbie was very aggressive, which was cool, but not very good.
Not
overall.
I mean, that's probably an understatement.
Yeah.
She was aggressive on the Liz vote, and I think she just had people that were so willing to back her up and get rid of either Liz or Peter that it wasn't going to be an issue. But then further down the line, she kept that same tactic, but it wasn't going to work out the same for her.
No. Yeah. So that's the thing people forget though, is Cydney. Cydney would have been the one to go home. So if you're gonna decide to flush the idol, it could be you, is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
Like that's why they kind of decided to make it Debbie, because you're like, hey, anyone but me. It's almost like the draw rock scenario.
Right.
Like you'd rather choose who goes home than it could be you.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's why they decided to get Debbie out, because Cydney and Aubrey, neither one of them really knows if they're going to be the ones to get idled out of the game.
Right.
So
and it would have been Cydney.
And it would have been Cydney. So it is the right move for Cydney.
For Cydney.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure for Aubrey, because now Debbie would have been pretty loyal to her, I think. And Joe. And now Joe, I think, as much use as Joe is, which isn't much, but I feel like he's probably going to be a little bit wary of going back with Aubrey now.
Yeah.
Although he was privy to the plan that Debbie was an option, but he just refused to go along with it, which also is not how you play Survivor.
Yeah. And Debbie wasn't Debbie in this episode also kind of stubborn about who to vote
She wouldn't vote Julia, which is the whole. It ended up being moot because Julia won immunity.
The point was moot because Julia won immunity.
Had she not won immunity, it would have been interesting.
Yeah.
Shook out.
Yeah.
Kind of bummed we didn't see that.
Yeah. There's a good chance I think Aubrey could have pulled off a Julia vote out. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
It's too bad.
It is too bad because I don't think. I mean, I wasn't that impressed with Julia this week. I was impressed with her immunity win.
Mm-hmm.
Slow and steady wins the race, but how she jumped to the guys in the reward challenge and made it so obvious she was double dealing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that is not good. I mean, if someone, I know you're supposed to play both sides in Survivor if you can, but to be so obvious about it, like, oh, Ty needs to take care of his chicken, which is code for I'm going to go tell Ty and Scott and Jason what you just told me.
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty obvious.
Bad. She was obvious about what she was doing.
Yeah, but you almost got to wonder, like, did she have a choice? You know, when you get to that reward with those guys, I mean, you're kind of.
It's not getting to the reward. Someone was going to end up with those guys. It's how quickly she jumped and volunteered to be with those guys.
Yeah, I forget that she volunteered to be on their team for the reward challenge, and it was. Yeah, it wasn't just like, oh, I guess I'll do it. It was like it was like me, and then like totally deal.
That's what a person should have done. Even if you wanted to go off those guys, then like, okay, just wait until someone kind of, you know, gets chosen to do it, and then whoever. Yeah. You can act like you didn't want to do it.
Yeah, you're like,
and then make the best of that situation.
Yeah.
But Julia was like, okay, I'll go. And then,
she almost should have just like sort of talked it out with the girls and be like, what do you guys think? Like, I guess I'll go or something like that, you know, like sort of like sort of reluctant to make it look like she's doing it for them, you know.
Yeah, she tried to be like, she was like, oh, it's all quiet, like, and it was. I mean, she's smart, like what she wants to do. She's not great at executing her moves.
Yeah, it's too obvious, and now she's definitely on the hit list for the girls. But the thing is, this super idol is the real threat, and they got to do something about that now, or it already looks like it could be too late to do anything about it. So
I hate it. I mean, I like that it's, you know what, if it had ended up in the hands of two people we love, it would have been like, wow, this is pretty neat.
Yeah.
And it is still driving discussions and things like that. But it ended up in the hands of the worst people.
Yeah.
Or no, I guess Ty having one at first seemed good.
Yeah.
But who foresaw him just so blatantly turning to the dark side and pledging his allegiance to Scott and Jason? I mean, what do you think he's just thinking? If I go to the end with these guys, I'll win? Or is he just dumbly, blindly following? I'm more inclined to believe that.
Yeah, I think he's just looking for an alliance, and Scott is really good socially. Scott has good social game.
I wouldn't say that after this kid.
Well, except for the, you know, his social game sucks as far as
when he doesn't get his way.
Yeah, like being a likable person in that way. But like he's good with people. Like he's good, you know, like what am I trying to say?
I don't know, because I disagree.
No,
I mean, like, he was up until this point.
His social interaction, like one-on-one, like making people feel like you're their friend. I feel like if he wants you to feel that way. But like, yeah, I guess group dynamics, good behavior, that kind of stuff is not good for him.
I mean, Scott is now on the same level as like Brandon Hams and Jatia, and that's not a level you want to be on.
Touche.
No one remembers those people positively. And so I don't think there was strategy behind it at all. I think it was just them being little bitches, because this was the first time in the entire game things did not go right for them.
Yeah.
And they reacted in the worst possible way. And it really was a bad look. And it also makes me mad because you and I kind of defended them at the beginning when everyone was calling them bullies.
Yeah.
We're like, yo, they're just, you know, it's just Alicia. Alicia sucks.
Yeah.
They did suck. But I think it's borne out that they are not great.
Yeah, part of their character. Yeah, because what they were doing is really just being sore losers. I mean, hiding the axe and machete and stuff didn't seem to really affect.
Yeah, and they were so butthurt when they started using their own methods of getting through that they had to.
The look on their face, they looked so disappointed. That
like, I've never seen a grown 7-foot tall man look so pathetic and weak.
Yeah, it was kind of ugly.
It was super ugly. Same as all their tattoos are effing ugly too.
Yeah. What does he have? One that says like penis or something like that?
I think Jason has one that says anus.
Anus. I don't know
Obviously,
which
these
one's
are
worse.
high caliber people we're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about Ty and how he's gone to the dark side.
I'm so disappointed in Ty.
Yeah, I guess we were kind of talking about that, and that's what I was saying about Scott socially. I feel like Scott has done a good job of making Ty feel like this is a tight alliance, and you're finally in a tight alliance. Because when he was on the Beauty Tribe, I think he felt like he was on the outs the whole time over there.
That's fair.
And when he finally hooked up with Scott, he finally had an alliance. So that's where he's at. He's just in an alliance with these guys, and that's why. And he's also, I talked about him being a wiener. I feel like
Ty?
Yeah, Ty being a wiener last week. Yeah,
Even bigger wiener this week.
What I mean by that is he's kind of like a little bit like you can kind of get him to do whatever you want. He's,
Yeah, you made a kind, like, one of the nicest people they've ever had on the show, like, sabotage the camp.
Yeah.
Like, look what they created.
I guess I'm saying I think I could see him as being kind of a pushover. So people like Scott and Jason could easily get in there and manipulate him.
No,
and that's kind of what's going on.
That was never more clear than at Tribal Council when Scott and Jason were all amped up and they were making their show of, ooh, this idol has a brother. I'm so hilarious. Yeah. And Ty was just like, I accept your idol. Like he was doing exactly what Jason and Scott told him to do.
Yeah, it was
He
obvious.
had no idea what was actually happening.
Yeah.
And he was just playing a role.
Yeah.
He was like their little puppet.
It was obvious that they had a discussion at some point and said, this is what we're going to do, Ty. And they gave him they played it out for him. And who knows how much production was involved in that. I know there's speculation on that, but really I could see it. I could see Scott and Jason just hatching that plan and being like,
well, yeah, they were so amped up on themselves. It was gross.
They're Survivor fans, so they've seen, moments like Malcolm and Parvati idol plays.
That's
and
exactly,
this is our chance to do that.
That's exactly the thing. Like, you remember those and being on the side of the person who had the idol. And in those cases, it's so awesome. But in this case, it's like, oh, no. Yeah. Even though you knew the Super Idol was going to come out.
Yeah, I got to say, I loved the Tribal Council, though. I was, really amped up. Well, I was especially amped up because, the vote was a little ambiguous.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure where the votes were going, what was going to happen. And then on top of that, when they start pulling out idols, I'm like, wait, do they even need to be doing this right now? Like, I don't know if
they did it right. They bluffed and made it be like, it doesn't matter who you vote for. You know, there's a chance
So maybe now is a good time to talk about this, because I feel like this is a good point of discussion, is the power of the Super Idol. Like, is it too powerful? Do you like the Super Idol? What do you think?
Don't.
You don't like it?
I don't like that those three buttholes are just sitting on the beach in the previous the next week being like, they can't do anything. And they can't. They have to sacrifice one of their own.
Yeah.
Or somehow
convince Ty,
who, to be fair, is easily swayed. Mm-hmm. And in the preview, it shows Aubrey playing to his morality. Like, Ty, these are bad people. And I think that's exactly the right way to go.
It's a good play. Aubrey is a smart person.
Yeah.
If she could figure that out after starving for however many days, she's like, here's my play. And that's a good play. I really like that. But yeah, I kind of like the Super Idol, but you really need people who have the balls to take some risks to flush it out. But like we talked about before, it could be you. It is like Russian roulette. It's drawing. If you're gonna flush that Super Idol, it's drawing rocks, because you don't know which one of you they're going for. And you put votes on them, they can play on any of them, and that person's going home.
Here is my question. Neil left the game with an idol, so we can put another one out there, so someone can potentially find another one and be like, hi, I have an idol too. Let's make our own Super Idol and get reviews on it.
I think they did put another one out there.
You think so?
Yeah, but the way things have been going, it doesn't look like anyone's gonna find it.
That's disappointing.
Yeah, but that's the game. If you don't want production to meddle with the purity of the game, you put it out there, and you don't push someone to find it. You hope that they find it. You put clues in, because they've always done that. You put clues and challenges and stuff like that. That's sort of their way of pushing people to find it. But if they don't find it, you don't force it. Hopefully that's what's going on. I think that's what's probably going on. They typically
Well, it's not too late.
They typically put an idol back into play when someone goes home with it. That's usually what happens. So I'm assuming there's one out there.
Well, you'd think if ever production sniffed out a time when idol would help
The
season, it would be right now.
Yeah.
Unless, God forbid, Jason found another one. But they're so, content. They're not going to go out looking for more idols.
I can't see them going to look for more. But they are hungry for a win. They are those types of. Jason especially is that type of player, very aggressive, very focused on winning the game. We could see him going out looking for another one.
And pushing people over to get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of do like the super idol. You just need people with the balls to flush it out and take the risk that needs to happen to get rid of it.
Yeah, because now they would have been 5. Although the thing is, they were not sure they had Julia. And where Julia goes, perhaps Michelle goes. So it would have been a risk to put the votes on one of them. Because if that were the case, Julia probably would have gone with them and gotten rid of one of the girls. But when they decided to offer up Debbie, she was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
I think it really.
So Julia did vote with them.
With the girls.
Yeah. I wasn't aware of who voted for who. I never looked at that. So
Scott got 2 votes from Joe and Debbie.
Okay.
Cydney got 3 votes from Ty,
Scott and Jason,
and the rest of the votes went on Debbie.
So Julia did side with the girls this time.
Yeah, but if they had been doing the split Scott and Ty thing, I don't know if she would have.
Right.
And Aubrey sniffed that out. Like, if we
can't get Julia.
We need Julia, so let's offer someone Julia's willing to vote out.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But now they're tenuously 4-4 with Cydney, Aubrey, Michelle, Julia, I guess, and Joe 5 versus 3. But Julia could go over. Joe might be pissed. He might go over, and Michelle might go with Julia. And then what? It's just Cydney and Aubrey.
Yeah.
I don't know if it would play out that way. It's just a possibility.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do feel like the Super Idol, though, was played, like you said, in the best way they could. I feel like the real power of the Super Idol is flaunting it. Because, I mean, that was apparent in the end of this episode.
So got Tony to the end.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so like you take this thing and you tell them, hey, I can play this after the vote. Then, whoever you guys vote for, I'm just going to play on that person, and whoever I want, send home. That's who's going home.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the real power of the Super Idol. The only thing that can counter a Super Idol really is another idol. You have another idol. I mean, they could put their votes on that person. They play their idol. And then you throw one vote out there. The one vote person goes home. So
that would be almost as confusing as the tribal council from last season.
Yeah,
Kimmy.
That was the ultimate. Jeremy and who else?
Jeremy and Kelly.
Kelly both.
Yeah.
Can't 0 votes, and then it just came down to like Keith and Kimmy getting screwed over.
Yeah.
Basically.
Big time.
Yeah, that was crazy. And somehow Spencer and Tosh were just like not an option.
Nope.
Basically because they stood their ground. They're so stubborn.
Yeah, and Spencer had.
Oh, he did, didn't he? Yeah, that helps. Yeah.
That's the other thing. Those guys who went, although Ty can win immunity. I'm not so sure Scott and Jason are capable of winning immunities. Except maybe down the line, if God forbid there's one left.
Yeah, I could see Jason maybe pulling one out at some point.
I don't see both of Scott and Jason making it much further together.
No.
One of them's going.
There'll probably just be one.
And I think it's going to be Scott.
Yeah. But. I feel like we never really talked about what Aubrey's best move was. What was the best? Was this the best thing for her game, or was this the wrong move for her? And I guess to me that comes down to, did she know that the vote was going to be on Cydney, or was she in the dark about who Scott and Jason were voting for?
Well, I guess I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
They probably those guys, they probably made it apparent they were most angry with Cydney turning on them, and so they probably were able, Aubrey especially, they're probably able to gather, okay, it's going to be Cydney.
Yeah.
And she, I think, is starting to view Cydney as her number one.
Yeah.
Because she's logical, she's smart, she's athletic.
Yep.
And she's been wary of Debbie since the beginning. Joe, while he's loyal, doesn't do a goddamn thing.
Right.
Except confront Peter.
And vote with you.
Yeah.
It's a vote.
He's a number.
Yeah.
So I think she saw Cydney as a powerful ally, and Debbie won't be around to like ruin her plans and just spill the beans in front of. Even if you do trust Julia, you know that your close alliance mate doesn't, and therefore, out of respect for her, you should not just go blasting out the plan in front of her.
Yeah.
I mean, that was so stupid. Debbie sucked at this game.
Yeah, Debbie was really bad.
Yeah, I don't know why for a second there we were like, man, Debbie's amazing.
Yeah, she's a good character though. I'm sure they will bring her back. I mean, there's pretty much no question.
If she wants to.
It sucks that it's going to be at the expense of probably it's going to be at the expense of a Neil or, maybe even a Cydney or an Aubrey if they don't make it to the end.
They're going to bring back like Debbie, Ty, or Caleb, all of who are bad. Well, I guess maybe
Caleb might be good. Yeah.
But Debbie and Ty.
Yeah.
They're not good at this game.
But good characters. Big characters. So yeah.
Therein lies a debate amongst many Survivor fans.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You want good TV or good strategy? You need one.
Right. So yeah, Aubrey's, if she knows Cydney's the vote, in my eyes, I think it's probably her best move to get rid of that idol, to get rid of the super idol, because now she's in a.
And sacrifice Cydney?
Yeah, because now she's in a pinch. I mean, I agree with all your points about Cydney being a better ally. You could look at it as a good move because you're getting rid of Debbie, who's a shitty ally, and keeping Cydney, who's someone that would be awesome to work with. But at the same time, I don't know that she's going to make it through next week. So in that case,
But do you really think Aubrey's the target? I think Cydney's probably still the target. Because Julia and Michelle wanted to get rid of her too, I think.
I guess that's who they were going for this week. So maybe you're right. I mean, maybe Cydney is the target. So yeah, I guess I just see, we see Aubrey doing all these amazing confessionals and amazing, conversations and playing a pretty good strategic game. So I see her as a huge target. Maybe they don't see her that way.
No, I don't think they do. Well,
they're probably sort of
starting to, but they're reactionary, obviously. Reactionary little babies, and they want Cydney gone.
And maybe they still hold this vision of her in their head of the meek little nerdy girl kind of thing. And
they seem to be the guys who would.
That's the dominating perspective on her. Mm-hmm. So you're probably right. I guess maybe Cydney is in danger again next week. So maybe Aubrey just prolongs the inevitable, I guess.
Unless she can get Ty.
Yeah, unless she can get Ty, and that's the hope, I think, is that. And to me, I was thinking about this too. I think Ty's best move at this point might be breaking away from those guys, because guess what? If he can get, if he can get those guys to play or put their votes on Scott and Jason, or if he, they obviously want to do this. Right. If he plays along with them when they do this, he can basically convince them that he's going to use his idol for the super idol, but then he doesn't play it. One of them goes
home. They didn't play it beforehand.
Because they didn't play
that would be hilarious.
So that's so now, but guess what? Ty still has his idol after that. So Ty still has an advantage. He gets rid of a strong player. He gets rid of the super idol. Well, he was a part of the super idol, granted, but he still has his idol he can play. If he can win an immunity or two and play the idol at the right time, he's looking at really close to finals there. So.
And that's one thing about the super idol that I would have trouble with if I had part of it. I'd be like, okay, so I'm expected to give up my safety in the game to save somebody else?
Yeah.
I would think long and hard before doing that.
Yeah. That's why you got to wonder where Jason stands on the actual playing of the super idol.
Right.
The only way he wants that thing played is if it's to save him. Mm-hmm. If it comes down to Scott, that's a good question. I mean, what if the votes are on Scott and it's like, guys, give me the super idol? Will they both give up their idol for a guy who doesn't even have an idol?
Both of those guys are giving up their idol. There's no guarantee they'll get another one.
A
guy who already has millions of dollars.
Yeah, I gotta think that they cut him loose.
That's what.
And if I'm Aubrey, my votes are going on Scott.
I bet you that's what happens this week. Coming up this week.
They put their votes on Scott.
Yeah.
And these two guys are like, we could each play these individually to save our
Or
ass.
Scott's gone, we still have the
We
super
still
idol
have
for
the super idol
ourselves,
for us
and they're
too.
still scared of us.
And we don't need this third guy. I mean, you got to give Scott credit. I mean, I just realized that you got to give Scott credit. He has no real connection to this idol at all, other than just having a good connection with those two guys.
And he's in
the like people are thinking of him as obviously they're gonna play the super idol on him. That's how in he is with them. But really, they don't have to play it on him at all.
But now that Aubrey knows that the two individual idols are in the possession of Jason and Ty,
yes,
she might be like, okay, we need to go after Scott.
Scott never had it, so who's to say they'll even play it on him?
Right.
Yeah. So
and then
I think you got
the connection between Ty and Jason away. They're probably not going to work together as closely as they were when Scott was binding them together.
That's true.
So they're the perfect trifecta to work together. The one who does not have anything is the one that the glue that binds them together. You take him out of it, you just got two free agent idols kind of out there.
Mm-hmm. And they never know when the vote's coming on them, so you could potentially vote someone else out and see both those idols played individually or something.
Yeah, I think they're more likely to be played individually if you take Scott out of it.
Yeah. So yeah, if Aubrey's smart enough to figure that out, which if I was out there, I probably wouldn't be. So,
but Aubrey's smart.
Man, props to her if she could do it. But yeah, put the votes on Scott and cross your fingers, hope they don't even play it on him. And yeah, there's less of a chance of the super idol even happening.
But do you look at it as, that's the thing, when you're so focused on using this thing as a super idol, you could be blind to the advantage of maybe using it for an individual idol.
Yeah, they really, I could see them having a one-track mind, super idol, and the votes go on Scott, and they're like, here you go, Scott. You know, I could see that happening.
Like Jason could, if he wasn't so focused on super idol, he could give, if he knew Scott was the one going home, he could give Scott his idol. But I don't see Jason doing that. Jeremy did it last year because he had a backup.
Yeah,
I don't see Jason, who's like 10 times more cutthroat, and only has one, really, of his own. I don't see him.
Yeah, I don't.
Ty, I can see them bamboozling Ty out of his though.
I don't see that happening either. But yeah, Ty. Yeah, I could see them getting Ty's idol for sure. Yeah,
which would be even more of a bummer.
Well, we're getting to the end of what I had in my mind, so maybe we should look at our notes and see if there's anything.
All my notes were just about Ty and how bummed I was about Ty, and I think we've done overall. So, yeah, we've talked about Ty, and I feel like what a foolish game.
Yeah,
it was soul crushing to see him.
Did you want to talk about the sabotage at all, or?
I really don't want to give that any more time. Although I just want to say it was soul crushing to see Ty feel like he had to like fit in or something.
Yeah, and that morning after he did it, when he walks up to the fire and you can see he feels guilty as hell, and he's like, oh, the fire went out.
I know, like he's not cut out for that kind of game. So it's not the kind of game you should be playing.
Yeah, it's kind of.
You have to play a game that's somewhat true to who you are, at least on some level.
That's what a lot of Survivor winners are quoted saying, something along those lines, like play your game. Play your game. So yeah, I have a quote from Jason here. I love psychological warfare, he said. So, well, he was born to play Survivor, right?
Yeah, but the interesting thing is that the whole sabotage was Scott's idea. Like, would Jason have come up with it?
Maybe not. But
I mean, he might have thought about it, but he wouldn't have maybe wouldn't have done it as blatantly and asshole-ish as Scott did.
I wrote down that at the reward challenge, Julia making that move to go with the boys. I wrote winners edit because they had a little confessional with her where she said, it's time for me to start making some moves if I want to win this game and stuff like that. So I was like,
people say that.
Yeah, it's true. At the time, I thought maybe, and I liked how Joe volunteered to sit out.
Yeah.
He's just like, I'm the old man, I'm not doing anything.
And he backed up the girls, which was good move for Joe, even though they lost. But what kind of shitty reward is just Chinese? You don't even get to go anywhere. They just give you Chinese food. I mean, it probably would taste delicious, but still.
Yeah.
Not great.
Yeah. I think it was Rob C that said Chinese food is like the worst reward
ever
in Survivor because you eat it and you're hungry like an hour later.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, why would you want that on Survivor?
That's true.
Yeah. I don't know what it is about Chinese food, but that's what people say. Is it like you're hungry like right after you eat it?
I'm that way with all food.
I also noticed in the immunity challenge after Julia won, everyone was doing the obligatory fake congratulations, but Aubrey didn't even congratulate
Aubrey
Julia.
was pissed at Julia.
Yeah,
and
it was freaking obvious that she wasn't happy that Julia won, and you got to wonder like how aware of it, how much do they know that Aubrey, hey, she's gunning for Julia, Maybe that was pretty obvious at that point because she doesn't even try to pretend like she was happy about it. So I thought that was kind of telling.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's pretty much all I got. You want to talk about what happens next week?
We can.
Okay.
According to Jeff Probst, it's another blind side, but.
Okay.
Yeah.
What does the preview show us again?
Shows. Oh my gosh, I just watched a preview like a few minutes ago, like a couple hours ago. It shows how confident the guys are. Like they're sitting on the beach and they're like, "Yeah, we're unstoppable. We got a super idol. We got Julia. We're unstoppable." And when they do craft an edit like that, it's like, okay, they're gonna get knocked out of it.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
It's typically how they set up the edit is, show these guys being arrogant and cocky. Show them
knock them down, like when Nick got voted
like
out.
Nick. That happens so often, and it never gets old.
No, it really doesn't. And in this case, if it was Saturdays, I know it would be. Especially if they don't see it coming, it would be.
Yeah.
Pretty great.
Yeah, I'd like to see that situation where they play or they put the votes on Scott and Scott doesn't play or they won't play it on him.
I think I'm gonna put that as my prediction for this week.
Okay.
It's too juicy not to at least think on some imagined or alternate universe that happens.
It could have happened.
Or maybe this universe.
Yeah, maybe this universe. I don't know. I'm a little more skeptical of that happening. I feel like what I kind of see happening is Aubrey's going to go to Ty and try to convince him, hey, we're going to put the votes on one of these guys. Don't help them out. Don't give them your idol so the super idol can be played.
Mm-hmm.
And, they're going to hope for the best, hope he listens.
Mm-hmm.
But he is too much of a pushover, man. He's going to give the idol to whoever needs it. And so they're going to, I'm trying to think who they would vote for. I want to say they would vote for Jason, and they're going to vote for Jason. Ty is going to give his idol to Jason. Jason will play the super idol, and who will they vote out? I suppose it would have to be Cydney. So I'll say Sydney's going home. If not Aubrey, my gut says it's Aubrey's time, but at the same time, you make such a good point about they voted Cydney last week. Why wouldn't they continue that?
Yeah.
So Sydney's
she's more of a threat to them.
Yeah.
At least maybe not
in
reality, but
she's more of an apparent threat in the game to them right now. So yeah, I say Cydney next week.
Say Cydney? I'm gonna say Scott. To hold to my optimism.
It's gonna be a Braun then.
Yeah. What do we got?
So we got
3 beauties, 2 brains, 3 Rongs.
So brains are
an endangered species.
As you know, it hasn't gone quite the way we thought it would, but we kind of theorized that the brains would be the first to be gone.
But I don't think Aubrey and Joe are going
anywhere. Okay.
So.
Cool. Well, thanks for listening, guys. Sorry we're a little late on this one, but hey, we got it out there, so that's cool. All right. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.